Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick weekly outlook slash monthly outlook. So as it's the start of the year, Q1, we could probably also go over the 3-month chart. So as you can see on the 3-month chart, we have this range and manipulation of the range highs, and then displacement lower from last year, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We formed this 3-month fair value gap. We have this order block and this breaker on the 3-month, which we tapped with the wicks as well, so we came back into it, and now we're starting to see price start to wick away from the area and displace lower. So this could be a potential 3-month swing, a 3-bar swing on the 3-month time frame. So in Q1, what we could see is price retrace higher, formed the 3-month candle, and then start to displace lower all the way into these lows. Same thing on the monthly chart. We took out this high, and we already formed a 3-bar swing, and we formed this monthly fair value gap here. So monthly we have this monthly inversion fair value gap. So swept the high, closes the 3-bar swing, so the 4th candle is likely to be a continuation candle, probably come back into this previous candle's range, which aligns with this monthly inversion fair value gap. And then if we go onto the weekly time frame, we have we'll go into the daily. Actually, on the daily, we have this dealing range high to dealing range low. We swept this external low, and our price is gonna come for these internal highs next before we probably see expansion lower for continuation. So something like this, come up here and then sell off here. That's what I'm expecting, and then we'll probably attack all of these lows next. But for now, we're starting to see some sort of displacement higher after taking out the external low with these internal equal highs. So of course, there was a potential chance that we could have sold off from this order block and fair value gap, but the first sign that price was likely to come for these highs was the closure above this lower imbalance, which we had with this candle, and we closed above the Monday high. So likely we can expect continuation. And then the second sign is, now that we've closed above this upper fair value gap and closed above half of the order block, is a very high probability chance that prices are now going to come back for these internal highs on the 4 hour as well. These internal highs, and what makes this a high probability area is because now we also have the monthly open high low close. So we can expect early in the week and early in the month price to come up into this area and form the high of the month here, and then start to sell off. And we already have 4 hour bullish structure. Daily is, I wouldn't say that daily is bullish, but bullish enough to expect prices come into this area before we get that sell off again. So as long as we hold these areas, being this upper inversion fair value gap, I don't really want to see price lose this area, if I'm being real, because what did price do? We had this Wednesday low consolidation profile, entered the previous day low, swept the previous day low, closed back inside the range. So what could we expect from Monday to come back into that into this Friday range, form the low of the day somewhere inside this daily inversion fair value gap, and then see expansion. So you don't really want to see price give like a deep retracement, because ideally you want to see price also hold this Friday low, because if you go on like the 4 hour, for example, this is likely a stop run. So we took out the previous day low, so expansion higher, and then on this day, because I did take a trade on this day, so I remember it pretty well. We did not take out this high because we had SMT with EU on this day, and then we had the sharp retracement lower, and we did not take out this low because we had SMT with pound. Pound took out the high, the Asia highs, or the pre-Asia highs or whatever. We'll quickly check pound. Yeah, the Asia highs, we took it out on pound, but we did not take it out on DXY. And we then take it out on EU, and then we saw this displacement higher towards the weekly close, and we closed above this daily fair value gap, using it to turn into an inversion. So for me, the game plan is, if we can get some early longs, we have, you know, clear drawing liquidity, 4-hour structure bullish, daily inversion fair value gap as a key level. So we have and you know, we got the monthly open high low close, the weekly open high low close as confluences to expect. You know, early in the week we can expect a retracement into this level, and then once we get into this level, we can flip bias and look for sales. But for now, 4 hour as the 4-hour structure is bullish, we can, you know, anticipate, if we can get a good enough risk to reward ratio, expect price to come for these levels and see if we can catch a potential intraday trade with that bias being in line. So what I'm watching for right now is, we formed this hourly order block inside of this daily inversion fair value gap. So what I like to see is if price can potentially sweep this engine in low into that order block, potentially even come for, is this no, this is not flat open, but yeah, we got this large dealer range. So, you know, ideally price can, you know, do something like this, and then maybe in London session, Asia's being consolidation, and in London, you know, we get some sort of reversal, and then, you know, could look for longs into these highs, and then you can enter something like this if you can get like a valid 2-hour trade. And once we take out these highs, then we can look for potential sales. So this could be like a potential 4-hour market maker sell model. So take out this low, then take out these highs, then look for the reversal, and then all the way back into these lows, and then you can short somewhere around here, SL there, and validation all the way down here, and then target these monthly lows, these previous month low. And then I'll probably only, if I get an intraday position, I'll probably only look to target these lows. If I'm in a swing position, then because you got a wider stop and you have a larger take profit, then you can probably hold for all of these lows instead. But if I can get like a 2 to 3 hour trade to this low, then I can't lie, I'll probably just hold it towards there, because this is a monthly low anyway. So that's a higher time frame drawing liquidity for me. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Premium OTE level, come up into this level, monthly inversion fair value gap, expecting the higher of the month to form around there, and then see if we can get a bearish continuation all the way back into the previous month low. And then if we go into EU, EU same thing, just like on DXY, how we're rejecting off the external low. On EU, we've taken out the external high, and we're starting to displace lower. We've now inverted this this daily inversion fair value gap. So external taken, invert daily fair value gap. So likely we come for these lows next, which is the weekly fair value gap. So what I would like to see, I don't want to see price come back for these highs, and ideally not for this high anymore as well, because these highs are now resting above, or essentially the upper half of this daily inversion fair value gap. So also we had a stop run here, displacement lower, price retraced back into this order block, and then we saw this large rejection away from this 4-hour order block and fair value gap, displaced all the way back lower. So ideally, you don't want to see price, come all the way back for this high again. You want to see Monday give like a small retracement higher back into this previous candle's range, being the Friday range, and confirm like a daily 3-bar swing. So come back into the previous day's range and then see like a sell-off. So yeah, but yeah, last week came into this 4-hour order block, which I mentioned I wanted to see shorts on EU onto the weekly fair value gap, but yeah, I went over the trade recaps on what happened because I did take a break even, and then I did we had this previous day high sweep and displacement, and then I did miss my entry by like 0.1 pips here, so I didn't get my fill. Price came all the way back down, took out the previous day low, and then displaced higher back into the range, and then displaced lower again heading into the weekly close. So would have got a break even here anyway, but I went over on the trade recap, so we're not going to go over the trades again anyway. So that's what I'm expecting on EU. Likely, to be honest, I think it's an unlikely chance we'll get, because of how close the drawn liquidity is here. I think it's unlikely that we'll get any sell opportunities here, unless we start to see a rally into this inversion fair value gap. But to be honest, the drawn liquidity is pretty close, so I'm expecting prices just come into this level, and then it'll probably be better we frame longs instead of looking for shorts on EU. So once we come back into this level, weekly fair value gap, we'll just wait for hourly displacement, and then it should be easy longs. We have all these trendline highs that have been built up on the way down, as which would be a lot of low resistance liquidity highs. And then once we also have this high here being the higher time frame drawn liquidity, so low resistance highs, high time frame drawn liquidity, weekly fair value gap, and we all just need to wait for the weekly fair value gap is for order flow to flip bullish on the 1 hour, and preferably even a 4 hour, and then this would be like an easy 4 hour market maker buy model. All you have to do is just try to look to get in line somewhere around here, and you can get like a nice 2 to 3 hour, potentially even more. And potentially, if you can get in somewhere around here, you might be able to even scale in another entry somewhere around here. So that's the higher time frame play that I'm looking for. And the monthly candle's already starting to move lower, so I'm expecting this candle to once we come into this weekly fair value gap that I was expecting, I'm expecting a rejection away, and then once we start to close above the monthly open, then it's very likely that the low of the month has already been placed in. Then we got this high, monthly high as a target, and then we got this previous year's high as the final drawn liquidity for the next upcoming weeks or next upcoming months. Or not sure how long it will take for us to take out this drawn liquidity, but this one being the nearest high time frame drawn liquidity, then intraday and swing plays towards this high is probably the best play for now. So we'll quickly go on to the GU as well, same thing. We have this high being a drawn liquidity into this fair value gap. To be honest, I prefer we take out this low one more time, and I think there's a good chance because we are rejecting off of this. We have this accumulation, manipulation, distribution, fair value gap formed, and we're rejecting off of these. Every time we've swept the highs into the fair value gaps, we've seen some sort of rejection. So preferably we take out the previous week's low, and then see if we can get some sort of rejection from there. That's what I'm looking for GU so far, and that would align with DXY going higher into that monthly fair value gap. Sorry, not monthly, monthly inversion fair value gap, and sweeping those relatively equal highs on the 4 hour into that premium of the range into OTE. So on pound, because EU is so close to the draw and pound is not close at all to it, there could be a potential short opportunity on pound on towards the previous week low if DXY has given that expansion towards the towards these highs on the 4 hour. So what I'd be looking for on pound is if we can run this internal high into this new dealing range that we formed. We have this hourly inversion fair value gap and hourly fair value gap, so something like this. And then once we trade into this low here, then I'd be looking to see if we can flip bullish. But for now, early week, I would be looking for like a potential short opportunity from this high and see if we can come back into the previous week low. And then if we get that, then I'll be interested in looking for longs on pound. But for now, because I'm expecting high DXY from this hourly order block, and ideally we don't come for this low, or we don't come for, we have the stop run here and we have this order block that's formed. There's actually even a propulsion block, because we have this order block here and then we retrace into it and then we see an expansion away from it. So ideally you don't even want to see this price lose this propulsion block. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. If we can get something like that, and then same thing, see if we can start to see bullish displacement here, and then back all the way into these highs would be the higher time frame drawn liquidity for GU. That's what I'll be looking for. And then if we go into euro pound quickly, right now euro pound very weak, meaning EU is the weaker pair and G is the stronger pair, which is why we've seen EU give that this strong move towards the weekly fair value gap while G has been stalling. So ideally, if euro pound gives a retracement back into this order block, then we could get some short-term bullish euro and then short-term bearish pound, which could give pound that expansion to catch up and take out those previous week low. But yeah, that's what I would be watching. I'm expecting euro pound to come all the way for these lows, consolidation, original consolidation, reaccumulation, smart money reversal, and now we got that low risk sell, and then you got this silver bullet, and now we're expecting this to be final distribution and then come for these lows. So I'm expecting this to be a market maker sell model and then come for these lows eventually. USD CAD. I'm not really too interested in it because this daily chart looks pretty bearish, while I still have a bullish bias for DXY. But if we quickly look at the monthly chart or the weekly chart, I'll probably just wait until DXY comes into that bearish level, being this upper daily fair value gap and order block, and then I would see what USD CAD is, because we still have these relatively equal triple equal lows, which I'm still looking for price to target. So could come back into this, we probably even take out the high, and then we can probably look for shorts back into all of these lows. But right now I don't really see anything bullish on USD CAD until we invert this fair value gap. So yeah, I wouldn't be interested in looking for anything on USD CAD for now. But yeah, expecting monthly once DXY gives that confirmation, we get that monthly high in place, I'd be interested in looking for shorts all the way into these lows, being an easy draw on liquidity, and this low here being the December lows. So quickly look at UJ. UJ I'm not really too interested in. We got this consolidation on the daily, but because we've inverted this daily fair value gap, I'd say the likelihood is that we could see higher UJ here, potentially into these highs, or even come back for these monthly highs. But I'm not really too interested in UJ unless we get like a sweep of these lows, for example, and then come back for these highs. That would be the only thing I'm interested in, because we have these, we got these equal lows on the 4-hour, which is also the previous day low, and we have this order block. So in order for me to take a long, I need to see price, you know, give like a some sort of a retracement into this order block and take out this liquidity pool. And then if we get we have this also daily inversion fair value gap. So if we get that and then displays higher on maybe like the hourly or the 15-minute time frame, then you got easy longs all the way into these into the previous week high, and then I would see what DXY is doing from there. But previous week high would definitely be the draw on liquidity for me. I wouldn't try to target higher than that. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for intraday, only if we get that. And then Aussie, I don't trade this pair. Swissy inverted the lower daily fair value gap, so there's a chance that we could come up and take out these highs before we get another sell-off. We've already taken out this low on the 4-hour, so there's a potential that we could already just expand higher with the weekly open, or there's a potential chance we can come for this low one more time, being the previous day low. But we've already swept the Wednesday low here on Friday and closed back inside the range, so you know there's a chance that Monday could, you know, just retrace into Friday's candle, the Friday candle range, and then, you know, just expand higher and come for these highs. So right now I'm not really too interested in it, to be honest. The monthly just consolidating, but in my opinion, once DXY gives that bearish confirmation, I'm pretty confident that this low would be the next draw on liquidity. So really the only thing I'm interested in early week is probably pound shorts, but UCAD, if UJ also gives that confirmation, then I'll be interested in longs. But pound and UJ, and then for shorts, once DXY gives the confirmation, USD CAD and Swissy look pretty good. I think UJ as well, because we have this monthly fair value gap, if we start getting some displacement here, once DXY gives that daily, taps those daily levels and gives that 1 to 4 hour confirmation, then this would also be a, you know, good potential play here. But we're gonna have to see within the next few weeks. Like if we start to, you know, run this high, for example, and then we start to see displacement lower, then we can target this monthly fair value gap being the drawn liquidity. But yeah, we'll have to see, you know, once the 4 hours flips bearish and DXY comes into that level that I'm looking for. We're just gonna have to wait for that for now. But yeah, that's just me thinking out loud there. But yeah, Bitcoin is the one that I'm really looking at right now, because I mentioned this in the previous one of the previous outlooks that I did. We have this on the daily, we have this market maker sell model, and we have this low being a drawn liquidity being 75k, and we have this weekly fair value gap which has been untapped, and we have this engineered high being a monthly fair value gap. But yeah, we've engineered this high on the weekly as well. So what I want to see here is weekly and monthly key level, low resistance lows as a draw on liquidity, daily market maker sell model. So this is a very high probability play here on the monthly and the weekly time frame. So yeah, what I want to see is price, if price can rally here, or this is also really good, because if you look here on the 12-month time frame, swept the previous yearly high, closed back inside of the range. So what can we expect? We can expect this candle to come back into the previous year's range, and then come all the way for this monthly fair value, yearly fair value gap. So 3-month time frame as well, swept the previous candle's high, strong bearish candle closure inside, closing below this whole candle. Some people call this an engulfing candle. So yeah, what we can expect, 3-bar swing, this candle to, you know, open up, form the high of the month somewhere around here, or higher the 3-month candle somewhere here, and then come all the way for this low right here, and this low here as well. So yeah, very, very, you know, very clean daily chart, 3-month chart, monthly chart, 12-month chart here. So this is a very high probability play. I I don't really see us getting above this monthly fair value gap. I just expect us to, you know, give that retracement here and then give like that sell off, you know, something like this. Come up here, sell off, and then once we come into this low, then there's a potential that we could see a reversal and come all the way back for these highs and continue this, you know, 12-month bullish order flow, you know. Down candle, up candle, retraces into this fair value gap, forming up candles, so we can come back for this fair value gap. I doubt we come back for this order block, but a tap into this fair value gap and then an expansion higher into this 126k high. It looks very likely to me. So for now, only interested in shorts. Remove this. Yeah, for now, only interested in shorts. Once we tap this monthly fair value gap, and then if we get like some 1 to 4 hour displacement, maybe even probably wait for even a daily closure, saying we come into this area and then we see a nice daily wick away from this area, and if we look at like the 1 to 4 hour is a nice, you know, fair value gap, order block, bearish structure forming, then we can look for potential shorts here, maybe even like a potential swing trade. Because if you look how large the range is, say we come into this area here, the weekly fair value gap around 100k ish, 98, 97k, and then we start to displace lower. See how large the range is. There's a good chance that, you know, you could catch like a nice swing trade here. And if you want to target this low here, this could be like a, you know, a really high risk to reward play, if you get what I mean. You know, from 97, 98k all the way to 74k, that could be like a 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, 9R trade, maybe even like a 10R trade potentially. So Bitcoin, if we're looking at the higher time frames, this is like the most, you can't really get a better setup than this. You know, monthly fair value gap, yearly fair value gap as a drawn liquidity, daily market maker sell model, all these equal lows stacked up here. All you just need to wait for is confirmation on the 1 to 4 hour time frame, or even a daily time frame, once we tap this monthly fair value gap, and then it should be easy shorts all the way to these lows here. If you look at gold, we swept the all-time highs, and when I was starting to close back inside of the range. So I'll be real, I'm not really too interested in shorting gold because of how fundamentally bullish this is. Like, in my opinion, gold is hard to short. But if this is any other pair that wasn't this bullish, this would be like a nice easy short, because we have these equal highs. So if price comes and takes out these equal highs into this daily fair value gap, then you can look for easy shorts all the way back into the previous week low. And then we have this lower fair value gap resting inside. Like, if you take this dealing range low to dealing range high discount, you can this fair value gap would be like an easy target. So even on the 4 hours, a bit more clear. But yeah, if anyone was interested in shorting it, I would just look for price to come and take out these relatively equal highs, and then look for shorts towards these lows here. But yeah, I mean, there's also a potential chance that we can sell off from here, but in my opinion, this is just a range, you know, accumulation, manipulation of the range highs, and then shorts back into the range lows. That's the only thing I'd be relatively interested in gold. But again, because, you know, because of how bullish this is right here, I wouldn't try to, you know, I'll just wait for price to come and take out all these weekly lows and then look for longs again. I think that would be the better play. But yeah, and then NQ, we'll end it off on NQ. So I mentioned on one of the, I think it was the last outlook, that the reason I wouldn't look for more longs on NQ or ES into the all-time highs is because we have this high here, we took out, we displaced lower, and then ES will be better to break it down. We took out this high, displaced lower, and then we ran the highs again, and then we saw this displacement. We didn't actually see the displacement yet last week, but I mentioned that how we took out this high on ES and then NQ failed to take out the same respective highs. So I was mentioning that this could be a potential SMT here, and we don't actually go for these highs like everyone's expecting to. So what do we get on the weekly? Took out this high, next candle displaced lower and closed inside the range. And not only did we close inside the range, we also closed below this up close candle, forming a bearish order block now. So now I'm expecting ES to come lower and NQ as well, because I'm not sure if it's high. Okay, yeah, we actually did. So we even took out the previous week's high on NQ, and we have SMT with these highs, and we've displaced lower, closing below these two up close candles, forming a bearish order block. You can even count this as a propulsion block if you want to count this singular candle as an order block. Order block, came back into the order block, failed swing, displaced lower, closing below these up close candles, forming a propulsion block. So you don't want to see price come back for the previous week high now. You want to see, you know, the next weekly open to come back into the range and then displace lower. So if you look at the daily, we also took out the previous week's high into this volume imbalance, which we inverted now, and then we displaced lower. So if you look at a 4 hour, probably more clearer. 4 hour structures bearish, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We actually took out this high one more time, but yeah, bearish structure, took out the previous day high and then displaced lower. So for me, the bias for the next weekly candle is to come into this 4 hour order block. Actually, I'll mark it out like this. Yeah, so next week I would like to see price come into this 4 hour order block and then form the weekly high here and then sell off into the previous week low, and then we have this 25k region, 24.9k ish. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking for, and then you can probably short somewhere in this leg here and then target all the way to this 24k region. To be honest, you could probably even short somewhere around that with the order block and then place your invalidation at the previous week high if you want to take like a swing trade, and then you can get like a nice 2R trade as well. But yeah, NQ looking really good. We have the weekly SMT, 4 hour structures bearish. We have this weekly low being a drawn liquidity. So once we come into that level, then there could be a potential chance that we can go for all-time highs. But right now with the weekly closure, I'm expecting price to just continue higher, continue lower. So we have this range right here. So we could come into this low and then maybe even these lows and then see us go for all-time highs. But for now, nothing bullish here, bullish here for now. You even inverted this daily fair value gap. So you want to see price, you know, remain below this for the weekly high to form around here, and then come for the previous week low and then this low here. So I'll only focus NQ, to be honest, because, you know, ES looks relatively stronger on the daily. So but yeah, that's yeah, you look relatively weakness because of SMT, and on ES we haven't inverted this daily fair value gap. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking for in NQ shorts, GU longs early in the week, UJ longs potentially early in the week, and then Bitcoin as well once we get this price coming into this level and then giving that confirmation for shorts. So that's what I'm looking for the week, and then also for the monthly outlook as well, what I'm looking for all the other pairs. So